Hi, I'm Andrea, and this is Colin. We are the Thomases. We live in Rochester, Minnesota, and we are licensed foster care providers in Olmsted County. When we got married, we were very intentional about reaching out to others. Colin is very service-oriented, and that was a huge thing for us. I really enjoy working with youth and young adults, and we were into youth ministry, and it was kind of a big deal to us. You know, the light in the dark and the city on the hill, you know, being that light, that was kind of the foundation of our wedding and our marriage from the beginning. So we started as a host family for a kid at the time through Better Chance Rochester. And so that's when we started. I mean, we knew the girls were younger and there was no way we were going to do foster care or, you know, something that we could do. And that was what we found. And when we moved to this house, we had extra space. We were kind of like, well, how can we use the extra space? And we've been able to fill the room that way. I think foster care came around when it's like, okay, we know there's this need, and we have the ability to help others. So there was a situation up in the cities. Yeah. So, and there were 3 girls that needed a placement. I think they called us on a Tuesday, and I think on Wednesday they well, we need a placement like tomorrow.
We have to make a decision in a day whether or not we're ready to expand our family of 4 to a family of 7.
We're kind of like, well, they're going to split them up if they can't find a place for all 3 of them to go. So we said, sure. Totally different lifestyle than what we were used to. It definitely shook our family pretty quickly. I remember one of my favorite things was when we bought them snow pants and, you know, snowsuits and everything, and they put them on and they were like walking around the house and like their snow pants were swishing, and they're like, oh, listen to this, Mom, and they're swishing their snow pants, and they were so excited about it.
The things that we take for granted with our own 2 kids that we've raised from birth were brand new to them. They came from a home where here's a phone, hang out on the phone for a while. And to then ingrain them in, hey, there's the outdoors.
Teach them how to ride scooters and bikes.
Yeah, how to go out and play in the woods and explore in the woods. They got to a point where they loved going exploring in the woods. And that was a big part of the joy of foster care, was exposing them to a lifestyle that they weren't necessarily used to. Yeah, we struggled to meld the 2 families together. I mean, it's a challenge for anybody who does foster care. It was a
struggle to meet everyone's needs.
Yep.
To meet our needs, to meet our girls' needs, to meet all of their needs, because they have a lot of needs coming into with a situation that happened.
The thing that made a big difference is when we started to bring in others along with us to help support them and I guess support us. Whether it's the neighbor families or the Lapine family who, you know, helped to start to care for all 3 of them on weekends and things like that. Once we started to get the support around us, then that kind of took the pressure and some of the tension off of our shoulders, which made a huge difference.
We're Aaron and Beth Lapine, and we're relief care providers to the Thomas family.
We got involved with the Thomas family soon after they got their first placement. We were finishing up our foster care provider license, and so they were getting ready to go on a vacation and needed someone to provide care for their kids. And so since we were friends previously, they had asked would we take them, and we said yeah.
Had we not got into this situation and said yes to the opportunity, that we would even know that there was a need for justice. There's things in the world that are not right, and that that the body of Christ needs to speak into, and we just did that, and have learned a lot about what that actually means in the process.
There's so much benefit to getting involved in situations that are messy. One, because we're called to, but also because then you begin to have empathy and you begin to realize just how big some of these issues are, just how systemic they are, but without that, you know, introduction to how the world really works. It's hard to have a lot of empathy, but then I think once you see it, you can't help but want to act on the things you've seen.
I think as I know myself and Christians in general, we have a tendency to live inside our comfort zone. When I go into something, I like to have a plan, and there's a beginning and an end, and this is what you do along the way. But in foster care, you're learning on the go, is really what it is. Once we left our comfort zone, we started to realize that we had a lot more potential within us to do more things.
Between us and the Lapines and other people that they've met along the way, God's using that hopefully to bring them to be stronger, to make good choices and grow up and be the greatest things that they can be in what they want to do. I don't know, I see a lot of difference in that in us partnering with the community, and I think that's what we want. That's what we want to do.
I think God's blessed us with a lot, whether it be a home, whether it be a job, whether it be finances or a car. It's a matter of taking a look at what you have, what God has blessed you with, and what can you turn around and bless others with what God has blessed you with. And it's kind of a strange way to say it, but that requires to get rid of that selfish mindset. In terms of, we always think of why we can't. But I guess the prayer would be that as a church we would start to look at what have we been given, and how can we turn around and use that to further His kingdom here on earth.